Hello everybody, Happy New Year! Who does that in February? Well, anyway, Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Thank you for stopping by. My name is CY and you're welcome to Inside Out. On this space, we talk about the family and the value of the family. It's been a minute, but let's continue. A great man said the best time to plant a tree was actually 10 years ago, and the second best time is now. So let's do this now. Thank you for dropping by. Today we are going to be talking about co-parenting. What is co-parenting? A man and a woman living together or not, parenting a child. A man and a woman, or a mommy and a daddy who are tasked with the responsibility of parenting a child. How easy is it to parent a child? How easy or difficult is it to parent a child with somebody else? Well, let's start from the beginning. You get married to this sweetheart of yours. Well, pretty much at the beginning we're just talking love. We love each other. We are just sweethearts. We don't even envisage the dynamics of taking care of a little one. We are so engrossed in each other's love. And then when the love culminates to marriage and then eventually childbirth, it takes on a different toll altogether. In my last video, I was talking about parenting holistically, that is taking care of the child, the needs, attending to the needs of the child in every ramification. Well, you are a parent, or you are going to be a parent. How much of parenting do you know? And guess what? You are going to be doing this job with somebody else. This person is your spouse or your partner. You may be married to them or not, granted, yet you have the task of parenting this little one that you have brought to the world. Listen, let's face it. Your husband or your partner is from a different background. You two were not brought up by the same mother, by the same parents. He may have been brought up in the city and you in the rural areas, or the other way around. He may have been brought up abroad and you home. He may have had different conditions of his upbringing, and yours totally parallel to his. How are you two going to join in the responsibility of raising up a child or two, 3 or 4, especially in our contemporary society? In some cultures, in the Western culture and also in the Chinese culture, we find that new couples, they want to dedicate 2 to 3 years knowing each other before they welcome a little one into their home. That's not it for our African brothers and sisters. Most times it is 9 months straight. And if nothing happens, people start asking you questions. So, how ready are you to embark on this task of parenting with another human being who has different values, who has different belief systems? First of all, you guys have cracked down and you have won the battle of love. You are now together. The next task is starting a family. Listen to me, before you drive on the road, you are granted a driver's license. Before you become a doctor, you are given a medical certificate. But before becoming a parent, nobody really scrutinizes you to ensure that this lovemaking you're doing is going to lead to a little human. And so you must be sure to be able to take care of this human being, because, as the late Miles Monroe rightly said, the family is the birthplace of the society. I guess you've heard me say that on this platform before. The family is the birthplace of the society, and so you are the custodian of this society. Vision 101. That's my vision board, and that's my husband's vision board. He's asking me to take down my vision board because it doesn't look as sophisticated as he is, but I'm not drawing the curtains on this one. You can see behind the scenes. By the time I'm done doing it, it's going to be okay. Let's get back right to it. If you're a woman listening to me, if you're a lady listening to me, this is especially pertinent for you. You may think that your partner Are there some instances where you think your partner doesn't really know how to parent your child or your children the way you expect him to? I was reading an article and a lady said that she said she was really complaining, she was ranting that her husband doesn't do the girls' ponytails properly, and he mismatches outfit for them. Well, somebody said, are you serious? Your husband goes as far as doing ponytails for your kids, and he even dresses them up, and you are complaining? Well, I want you to know, dear lady, that men are not domestically inclined. Most of them, especially in our African setting, they are not. Women are the ones that are domestically inclined. A woman may get her pride from how beautifully dressed her children are, or how fluent they are in English, in speaking English, or how well behaved they are in public, or how bold and audacious they are when speaking. That may be her point of that may be her crown as a mother. Now tell me, what is your crown as a mother as far as parenting is concerned? That's towards your children. One or any of these things that I just mentioned right now. A man is not really given to the dictates and the tenets, the small details about parenting. It is our responsibility as a woman to check for those tiny little things. He is looking forward to you telling him, please, can you help me shower the children, do this, give their breakfast, can you help me do this, do this, do this? You would be sitting in your tiny corner thinking that daddy should be able to remember that he has to do this, he has to drop by and pick up stationery for the children tomorrow, he has to do this and that. But it is your responsibility as a lady to tell your partner and involve him in the parenting issue, in the parenting task, not an issue, in the parenting task. Because as I said, men are more provisionally inclined rather than being domestically inclined. They give you all the money and you do the parenting. To a large extent, that's how it is especially in our African setting. Now, apart from telling your partner where you want him or her to come in, also learn to praise him when he does the little things for the children. Also learn to hey, daddy did great today, daddy bought snacks for the girls, daddy did this, he did great. Men were not those kind of people. Men are not those kind of people that as boys were taking note of the small things that their mothers were doing to their siblings, or their eyes were not on ground as far as home management and parenting is concerned. So most of them, you will find, do not even know how to parent themselves, not to talk of parenting another human being. So it is your duty as a lady to teach your husband, and do not do it in the heat of his wrongdoing, because he's not going to take that teaching any seriously. You can corner him and first praise him for doing awesome, and then you tell him, please, this is not how they wear this legging, you cannot be wearing this legging and this top. You safe now, you see that it's an evapor pushing. So you can praise him first and then shoot your star later, that I'll shoot your problem, and he's going to grab any suggestions that you tell him. Granted, there are some daddies that do a really great job at taking care of their little ones. They know the ins and outs. They do not need to listen to instructions 10 times before they run with it. They just need to be told, okay, when you wake up in the morning, make her tea, do this, comb her hair, take her to school, and then at 2 o'clock bring her back. But there are some others, you need to phone them at 2:30. If your child gets off school at 3 o'clock, you need to phone them 2:30. Please get ready to pick up the child. 3 o'clock, please get ready, go and stand on the line and pick up the child. 3:15, are you with her at this moment? 3:30, are you guys home? That is how some daddies are. But you are supposed to be tolerant in doing this parenting with them. Another important issue is learning some manners and some dictates, and some men generally are rugged and rough, and logically speaking, they are not really emotionally inclined. They do not really understand some things about the children. You are the one to put it all together. You should know that you are to cover up for the lapses of your partner in parenting. I'm talking now to the ladies. I don't really know how to put it through to the men, but I'm talking to the ladies because the outlook of a home, whether I like it or not, is largely dependent on how that woman pulls it around. Yeah, I'm talking about now a house structure and also a home. The way the children behave, especially when they are small, to a large extent depends on how mommy's people around the house, whether you admit it or not. I think that's right. I think that's true. So if there are lapses in your partner's parenting game, you are the one to fill up those lapses. Do not allow it there. There are some times that you see you yourself are shocked. How can you do things like this? How can you be this negligent? But you just have to buckle up yourself. When you go to the bedroom, then you lash it out there, but right in front of that little girl. Make her to know that her daddy is a superhero and that is the best daddy that ever existed. All right. Here's a scenario. There's this guy who grew up not in a family setting. He doesn't know a lot about parenting. He's not homely. He doesn't know a lot of things about bringing up children. He just knows that what a daddy is supposed to do is to provide for these children. He doesn't even say please, no thank you, no I'm sorry. Yet those are the things that they constantly are teaching the child at school, and you are trying to imbibe in these children. Daddy doesn't say please, just says, hey Camila, bring me that remote there. Hey, it's time to go to sleep. Go. So rugged, so rough, lack no emotions. No. Most daddies need to be reminded to put emotions in dealing with their children, especially when they are off the floor. I just mean like from the ages of 3, 4, when they're becoming more and more independent. So teach daddy to say, you can say please, you can say thank you, you can say I'm sorry. It mustn't only come from the child to the daddy. The daddy can also be as courteous as that. He can also be as polite and courteous as that. So if you're a daddy watching me by chance, take a cue and be involved intentionally in co-parenting with your wife or with your partner in the life of your child. Be present in the life of your child, not only financially, but let your child grow up knowing that my daddy did this for me because my daddy used to do this. I am not like this. Let her be able to trace the dots together and say, oh, my daddy used to do this. I remember my daddy used to do this. My daddy was available. No matter how differently your beliefs are, yours and your partner's, the common goal is the well-being of the child, whether financially, spiritually, psychologically, and mentally. In fact, overall, you and your partner have the responsibility of ensuring that this child is a better human being because he lives with you. He's a better human being because he's grown up with you. So there are differences that may cut across in trying to mate out your parenting to your child. But I don't know, you guys should agree and meet somewhere. Tell yourself that, okay, you do it like this. You put the child to sleep on the stomach. That's how you were taught. In our village, the child sleeps on his back. So how are we going to do this? My mother said that's not how you feed a child. My mother said that. For some of these conflicts, and even goes up to blame. I told you that. I told you. Now see, the child choked because you said that. Blame and blame after blame because we have different ideas about raising up the children. Well, in our differences, we are one because we are a team. How are we going to do this together for the well-being of the child? You're just looking at your husband. I told you. You want to show that you're there. You over sabi. You're saying in your mind, I told you. That don't give that child that thing. You said that is good for the stomach. See now. You see now. Please give me that child. You may even go as far as suspecting your husband that I can't leave my child with this man. You watch TV and forget the child in the shower, or probably you would do the worst. I don't know. Are you comfortable when you leave your children with your husband? Are you comfortable when you leave your children with your husband? Is your mind at peace when you go away for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and your children are with your husband? Are you satisfied with his co-parenting? How can you both fix that? What are some of the things that you do totally differently from your husband? What are some of the things that really make you angry or at loggerheads about your parenting together? Would you let me know? Let's even talk about differences in discipline. We would discipline our children depending on how we were disciplined. Basically, we parent the way we were parented. How did your parents discipline you growing up? Were you beaten? Were you starved? Were you locked up in a room? Were you refused gadgets? Were you punished to... were you given a kind of funny punishment like pick a pin or get on your knees? How were you disciplined when you were a child? That will tell how you discipline your children. Some mothers believe that do not use a cane on my child no matter who you are, daddy or no daddy. Some fathers believe that, okay, I don't need to spank the child, I need to I would rather pinch the child's bum bum. My husband does that. He pinches the bum bum while me, I'm not proudly saying this, but when the popcorn is bubbling in my head up to here, I don't even know when I'm giving a spank. It's not the way to go, but sometimes the idea is usually not the realistic situation we see on ground. So how does your partner discipline? The same or differently from the way you do it? Do you like it? Do you appreciate it? Do you believe in beating up the child? First of all, back in the days, I believe that because our parents had so many of us children, they didn't pay attention to a lot of things. Now that is changing in our society, in our age group. We have 1, 2, or 3. Maybe some of us have 4, but this gives us an opportunity and a chance to focus our efforts. Are you upset when your partner smacks the child? You know, when it's you smacking the child, it's no problem. But when it's another person, oh my God, it feels like, don't do that to my daughter. Well, even though the child is your partner's as well. Co-parenting can be tricky. Doing something with somebody else can be tricky. Doing anything with somebody else can be tricky, and parenting is not an exception. So, in parenting your children, dear mommy and daddy, find a common ground. Whether you live abroad, whether you live home, I don't know where you live, in the urban areas, in the cities, do not allow the externalities or the frustrations of the other person's parenting mistakes to get to you. We may say they are parenting mistakes, but do not allow them to get to you. And remember, no two people do things alike all the time. There's so many disparities that may happen in your parenting, but how are you able to make peace with it at the end of the day? How are you able to not portray to your child that the other partner or the other parent is not doing it so well? In any case, do not make it too visible to your children that the other person is not doing it as much as you expected. It is difficult to co-parent in contemporary society, but it is possible, and it starts from a talk to an execution to a bright little girl at the end of the day. I'll see you in the next video. I love you, and remember to subscribe. Bye-bye.